Hello, my name is James Tobin, clarinetist here in Charlottesville, Virginia, and I would very much like to thank Tommy Doss for inviting me to make a couple of quick tutorials that we can present to you young musicians as you now have more free time on your hands to practice your horns. And the detail that I'd like to talk about today has to do with wind and how you use it on the clarinet. Not all notes on the clarinet are created equal. Some are more powerful than others, and some are inherently weak. And one of our goals is to blow in a way that presents to the audience that the instrument speaks perfectly well on every note. Okay, so long pipe notes on the clarinet, in which more of the column of wind is vibrating, have greater resistance, and we have a tendency, especially as young musicians, to blow in a way that meets the resistance of the clarinet. So if it has a lot of resistance, we'll blow more. And if it has less resistance, we blow less. And if you play music that way, you're going to get some unsatisfying results. So I'm going to play the opening phrases of an etude here, and I am going to blow in a way that's less productive. I'm going to blow less significantly on the notes that have less resistance, the short pipe notes. Okay. And what occurs then is you get a really uneven melody that doesn't have a lot of legato. And more appropriate choices about where and how to phrase get disrupted because there's this seesaw between blowing more for the notes that have more resistance and blowing too little on the notes that are less beautiful, less substantial, and have less pipe vibrating. So one of the things you should do is you should concentrate on blowing through the bell of the clarinet at every moment, regardless of the dynamic, whether it's forte or piano. We want to imagine that there's a ribbon in the bell and that it is fluttering madly as we are playing the clarinet, okay? And an exercise, something that you could do to explore this, would be to first play a low G and notice what it feels like to blow all the way through the clarinet. Next, after you've noticed that, play the low G again, and as you are playing it, slur to an open G, but make sure that you blow the wind the exact same way. You should immediately notice that you have a much more robust, substantial note in that open G, and that it sounds more like the lower notes of the clarinet, and all just from concentrating on blowing all the way through the instrument all the time. This is what the melody would sound like now if you blow through the bell of the clarinet and you make your phrasing choices based upon what the music wants as opposed to what the clarinet does well. Another great place to concentrate on this, away from the music, would be with scales. Very frequently I hear young musicians play and it's not like any one of us intends or chooses to say, I'm going to blow less on those throat tones. It's a reflexive thing that develops over time. If instead you make sure that you blow through the bell of the clarinet, so that as you go from the C to the B flat, you're blowing the exact same way, you're actually going to come to a pretty substantially different outcome. So I invite you this week as you're practicing to really think about blowing through the bell of the clarinet and getting the ribbon, the imaginary ribbon in the color of your choice, to flutter madly at all times. Okay? Thank you very much for listening. I hope you all are doing well, and